Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today we're going to talk about the NRA. Can it be reformed? Could they ever win your trust back? Would you ever give them another dollar? Is there anything they could do to make you give them another dollar? I want to hear your all's opinions. And the reason I'm thinking about this today is I was reading an article about some of the people who want to reform the NRA from the inside. And I wonder, do they really want to reform it? Do they think it can be reformed? Or do they just want their piece of the illegitimate pie? They want their turn at bat, making exorbitant salaries with exorbitant expense accounts and high profile media presence so that they can make money in other ways. Do they actually think that they can be made into an organization that does good? Or, like I said, do they just want their piece of the pie? And what do you guys think? Do you think the NRA can be reformed? Or can it not be reformed? Would you ever give them another dollar? Is there anything they could do to win you back? I'm going to start off with my opinion. I don't think it's going to surprise anyone. I do not believe the NRA could be reformed. I think trying to reform the NRA would be like walking along the beach and you see a dead whale right there on the shore. He's all bloated and swollen and been dead probably for days. And you think, can we push him back into the water? And then you have to say, well, why would you? Because even if you got him back into the water, he's still dead. He's still bloated. He's still no good for nothing anymore. He's just going to be a big, gross mass floating out there in the water. And that's kind of how I see the NRA. Even if you got new leadership in it, new people running it, it'd still be the same old bloated, corrupt organization it ever was, or it has been for at least since like the 80s. So I don't think it can be reformed. And most importantly, I don't think we need to reform it. I don't think we need them. I think they're an outdated concept. They're from a time when nobody in Indiana knew what was going on in Texas, and no one in New York knew what was going on in Arizona. That's not the case anymore. We are a connected country now. So we don't need these big national organizations. And we definitely don't need one that has such a history of corruption and just basically money laundering. We don't need them. They make us look bad in the eyes of people that are on the fence about gun rights. I've had conversations with people that are very open to gun rights. And then you say something like, well, the NRA said, and then they're like, fuck it. I'm shutting you down. You've lost me. So they've not been a positive influence for gun rights in many years. They've actively fought for restrictions. They actively try to maintain infringements because it's what makes their money. So they have been more of a hindrance than a help for decades. And I don't think they can be reformed. And even if they could, I don't think we should. So now let's go see what everybody else thinks. Let's see if anyone weighs in on this topic. John Heasley weighed in and said, no hope for the NRA. I kind of agree. And even if there was, there'd also be the question of, do we need them? Aaron Talks Firearms says, NRA is a lost cause. Support the Second Amendment Foundation, the New York Rifle and Pistol Association, and other local 2A groups that get results. I agree. Also, make sure you're careful with even those organizations, because a lot of them have jumped on the money-making bandwagon. Now, SAF, that's a local organization for me. So when I support them, I'm supporting a local organization, and I am a lifetime Defenders Club member up there. Got my little plaque up there. But that's what I say, people. Find your local organization. Like if you're in Florida, find Florida Carry. If you're in Washington, Second Amendment Foundation. No matter what state you're in, there is an organization there in your state that's probably doing good things. Stay away from the ones that want to be political powerhouses, and they're always doing fundraisers, and you don't really see them ever fighting for anything or any victories from them. Now, the NRA sometimes shows victories. It's because they get their names, and they go in and have someone file a paper so that their name's on a long list of people suing, and that's all they do. And then they're like, it's our victory because our name was on it. So pay attention even to the ones you do want to support, but national organizations just aren't needed anymore as far as I'm concerned. Stay local. No, if Doge wants to see fraud, go to the NRA. Yeah, well, I think we've already know the fraud that existed at the NRA. It was basically a money laundering scheme. They They kept paying themselves. It's like when they would come here and they'd be like, we're going to help you fight for your cause. We just need about 20 grand. We're going to pay for we're going to produce flyers, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. We're going to raise money, and the first 20,000 is going to be ours for expenses, and then we're going to take this for this, and then by the time we're done, we'll probably make you a couple grand. So because they pay themselves to print stuff, they pay themselves to mail stuff, they pay themselves to design stuff, they pay themselves to be involved, to go out and talk to you. So it's just a fucking money laundering scheme. And then when they come to help you fight for your rights, then they give you spiels on their programs and their websites that they want you to pay to be a part of. So it's just a scheme. John Mandrick, if they fire the old board and change the bylaws back to the members' vote counts, well, how do you monitor that, though? As soon as the people that are in power decide, well, we're not really going to count the votes, we're just going to do what we want to do. When you got that much money coming in, people tend to do that. So I don't even think that would help, but that's what Johnny Mandrick thinks. Practical Bacon says, I just wish the NRA was as pro-gun and pro-2A as the left thinks. Sadly, the truth is very different, and they are a lost cause. Well, yeah, they're pro-profit. They're a money-making machine. And that's what they care about, is making money. And they don't make money by winning your rights back for you. They make money by maintaining the fight. They just want to keep you right there on that border of losing rights, gaining rights, losing rights, gaining rights, losing rights, gaining rights, because that's how they make their money. They have to show a little victory, but then they have to have a big challenge. A little victory, then a big challenge, or else you're not going to keep giving them money. And that's their main goal, to make a profit. Edgar Cortez, no, too much for profit corruption. It's like a cancer. Exactly. Too much profit there for that. They make way too much money, obscene amounts of money. If they wanted to do this and it was like, okay, every board member is a volunteer position. The president's a volunteer position. It's a retired guy. He used to own a gun shop and he's retired now. And he doesn't take money to be the president. We don't need big fancy buildings. We don't need any of that. We just need an organization that has a connected web of people that know who to talk to and how to do it and blah, blah, blah. That's what we need more of. Light Blue Oyster Cult, abolish all NAs, NRA, NSA, NFA, NEA, what, never enough ammo? NBA, I'm okay with that. Well, he said NEA twice, so I think he really does not like never enough ammo, etc. He's going to get rid of never enough ammo twice. Well, we're already sending him to Michigan. He's been banished to Michigan. So I don't know what more we can do. Of course, now that he's one of them Northerners, he thinks he's too good to talk to us. Y'all have seen it. He thinks he's too good for us now. $1 billion corporation rotten to the core, said Mikey D. I don't think he's a fan, based on that comment right there. So I'm going to put him in the no, they can't be reformed category. Dale Rickety said the NRA is toast. They will never be effective. Well, I think they could be effective in some ways if they chose to. I just don't think they'd ever choose to. And are there other ways to do the same things they could do without having that giant juggernaut of a money draining, bloated corporate system attached to it? Well, of course there are. There's no need for them. Paul B said, hail Phil, shit can the whole thing. Yes, the NRA could just close tomorrow and I wouldn't care. Now, there are a lot of resources they have, a lot of historic items that they're in possession of. There's museums and stuff that I would like to see be taken over by somebody and run and, blah, blah, blah. But as far as the political organization, the NRA, no, we don't need them. They don't fight for our rights and we don't need them. And all they do is take our money. And they divert money, like I said, from good causes. If I see a lawsuit in California and that the people fighting that lawsuit go to the trouble of setting up a campaign fund that you can donate to, well, then if I send them $50, I know $50 going to that campaign, going to that lawsuit, that fight. If I see the NRA advertising something there and I send $50, I know from personal experience about $4 of that, if that much, is going to the actual fight. and the other 46 is going to pad pockets. So I don't want to be involved in that. That's why I don't like to do things that have. It's like when they tried to do when some of the other gun channels wanted to turn handguns for heroes into a national thing. Oh, you and I will, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. The other guys, we'll just all sit on a board and we'll hire this guy. He'll run it. He'll fundraise, and there will be a certain amount of money that goes towards buying the guns for the heroes, and there'll be a certain amount of money that pays expenses and stuff for the board and pays for our time. And I'm like, no, you're just sucking money away from the money that could have gone to good things. So I don't go for that, and that's what all the NRA actually is. Jacoby Cochran jumped in here real quick and said, sorry, Yank, but I'll always be pro NEA. Well, I didn't say we weren't, but he thinks he's too good for us now. One of these days, you're going to wake up and realize how he thinks he's too good for us. But that's not what this was about. This is about the NRA, not NEA. We should have a chat about, can NEA be redeemed? Or now that he lives up north, is he just too good for all of us? Pretty soon he'll be telling us all we need is skeet rifles and, shotguns for skeet and a hunting rifle and a gold-plated 1911, and that's all we need. Living up there in the north with those people. But all right, everybody, thanks for coming today, and thanks for chiming in. I think most of us are in agreement that the NRA cannot be redeemed. How about you out there in YouTube land? Is there anybody out there that can make an argument that they could? Let me know in the comment section below, or better yet, come to one of our live chats and let me know. We have live chats every night, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. That's the only time it's different. That schedule is subject to change. If you want to weigh in on this topic or any other topic, just show up at a live chat, talk about whatever we're talking about, and then wait around till the open chat. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. So hope to see you at a live chat soon. Thanks to everyone who engaged in conversation today. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.